Whoa! Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, friends. I just knocked over my little thread stash jar. And now little bits of all the little DMC thread holders just flung themselves all over the place. Good afternoon, Connie. How you doing? Okay, let me make sure I've not dislodged any needles from the... I think we're okay. Wow, that was exciting. Hi, Aurora. 4Mnet. Hi. Morning. That's a T, right? Yeah. 4 a.m. unit. 4 a.m. unit. Oh, is that what it is? Maybe that's what it is. My mistake for mispronunciation things. Ready for the football later. Yeah, who's playing right now? I think England has already played. I don't know. We're not a football house, you know. But are you enjoying it? I know other people are enjoying it. I know it's making the corporate workspace much more lax because everybody is kind of half-assed doing their work and watching the games at the same time. England are playing at 7. Oh, okay. Who are they playing? Oh, the US. Oh, yeah. This is the game. I saw a meme today, like a fake, I don't know if it was a fake headline article, but it was a joke that was like the England-US game. Loser has to keep James Corden. Because he's sort of like universally despised now. Oh, so funny. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see who keeps James Corden after this. Did you finish? I haven't started yet because I knew that I was going to be a completely unproductive member of society. So I think that might be a weekend binge for me. Did you like it? Am I going to like it? I trust your opinion. How many episodes is there? Have to see. Because I know myself and I know I will rabbit hole binge it. And so I need to make sure I don't have to be a productive member of society before I press play. Or else I know it's not gonna happen. Oh, that's good. I'm so excited for it. 8 episodes. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's very bingeable. You binged in a day. Yeah, I definitely think that's what's gonna happen with me. It might be a day or it might be over 2 days, depending. Are they 45-minute episodes or are they half hours? They're probably full hours, aren't they? So yeah, definitely. It can be done. So if you guys don't remember, we are working on our Howl's Moving Castle cross stitch. And we finally finished the first page. And I got so excited that I flipped the page and started working on it because I wanted to try to get as much done as possible. Yeah. Yeah, how is Catherine Zeta-Jones as Morticia? I think she looked really good. But yeah, so that's page 1. Now we're on page 2. And I started working on it. But we'll see how much we get done. I'm hoping, I don't know. Hopefully, if we can fill this section in, I think that would be a win in my books. Just gonna turn myself down a little bit. Yes, I'm very happy with the progress. Tonight, Liam and I are going to meet the newest baby of the family. So you guys remember the baby shower that I threw for Liam's cousin and that she has given birth as of the 15th. So we're finally going to meet the baby this evening. So I need to make sure that I am off the computer at 6. So we might have to cut stream just a tad short, because by the time we like finish stream, go and raid, say our hellos, it usually ends up going, you know, more to 6:30, but I'm on a strict 6 p.m. off the PC deadline today. But that's okay. I feel like we'll get quite a bit done. I'm excited. Yeah, we're gonna go meet a baby. Aside from that, hopefully, everyone fingers and toes, cross your fingers and toes, that DPD gets their shit together and brings me my delivery today. Because every day for the past few days, I've gotten a text and an email being like, DPD has your order, they're gonna deliver it by like 7 p.m. tonight. And then it's not even the time, like it's not even outside of the like delivery window, and they go, sorry, Georgie's not coming back today. He's missed your delivery. He'll try again later. And I'm like, buddy, you didn't even attempt to come to the door. We've been home all day. So I don't know what sort of shenanigans you're pulling. But not only do I have one, I have 2 DPD orders now. So hopefully he was just being strategic and like wanted to stockpile to deliver all of them on the same day. I don't know if that would be how his brain worked. I would hope so. But if not, hopefully we get our delivery today. If not, I'll probably just say I'll pick it up. I know they give you that option. Basically, I was gonna give Georgie one more chance to deliver the parcel successfully before I take matters into my own hands. We'll see how it goes. It's not like the end of the world, except for the fact that this particular delivery has stuff that I need. Like, it's Christmas presents for my brother, so I can ship him and his girlfriend's Christmas presents. And obviously with all of the like Royal Mail strikes and things going on, I would like to get that shipped out earlier rather than later. So it's so frustrating. It's getting to that wire where like it takes me a while to get into like the quote unquote Christmas spirit. So I've been a little bit grinchy about the fact that like I've literally had to start thinking about Christmas literally as of November 1st. And I'm a little bit salty about it because I'm like, I shouldn't have to be dealing with this until December. But it's like by the time you order things or you pick it up and then you have to send it away and all that kind of stuff, like you really have to be doing things a month in advance. And that's not even including the fact that like pay periods, like I get why people have to do that because it's like you only get kind of 1 month at a time and then it becomes difficult to sort of budget. So you spread it out over multiple months. But I'm like, guys, I don't even think about my dearly beloved Halloween this much. And that's my favorite. So what am I doing occupying my brain with a holiday that I'm not that excited about? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's my side rant. But hopefully, again, everyone, fingers and toes crossed that our man Georgie comes through. If not, I don't know. Shadow's been spending most of the afternoon with his bestest bud. Like, when Liam is working from home, Shadow is, like, stuck to him like glue. But it's all good. We've been doing, I think because we were a bit out of our own routine today, because I was sorting stuff out on my computer. And so usually what happens is I end up eating lunch downstairs, and we'll, like, sit on the couch together and, like, watch TV and have our own little, like, chill sesh. But I ended up eating food upstairs for a change, and I think Shadow was a bit annoyed at that, because he's like, I haven't gotten to have a snooze on the sofa all day. And I told him, I'm like, you're a big boy, dude. You can go downstairs and do it yourself. And he's like, no. It's not for no reason. It's because you wanna, you know, why not? Why not do your makeup? Feel yourself. Like, you know, if you're like, ooh, I feel like looking away, you know? I would say, you know, looking cute, but I feel like you probably look cute outside of makeup as well. I don't want you to think that, you know, being cute requires you to be wearing makeup. But if you would like to augment your features in a fun and funky way for yourself, then that's all that matters. Why not? One, two, three, four. Here, how about this? You're putting makeup on in anticipation for the football game. You want to look pretty for England. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'm really excited because again, who knows? I don't know if we will. Oh, there's a player you love. Do tell, do tell. Oh my goodness. An anonymous gifter gave a community sub. Well, thank you so much, anonymous gifter. That's incredible. Thank you so much to whoever you are. I hope you have a fabulous day. Thank you for being so generous. But yeah, Connie, you're gonna have to spill the deets of who your footballer crush is. Jack Freakish. That's an interesting name. Oh, Graylish. I was like, oh, what an interesting surname. I get it. It was a typo. Oh, I think I might have seen him in your, I think I might have seen you post about him in your Instagram stories. I wish his last name was Freakish. That would have been funny. Right? I love it. Yeah. There you go. You're getting pretty for him. So I love it. We have football bay. We have musician bay. We have multiple musician bays, I think. What other genre of bay have you collected, Connie? I feel like it's like, you know, your loves are like Pokemon cards. You got to get each type, you know? You got musician boy, musician bay, you got footballer bay. Oh, you must have hockey bay. I think you do have hockey bay as well. Okay, I want to jump down here. By how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 6th. Let me just double check. Whoop. One, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 6th. Okay. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the 6th. Okay. Cool. Yes. I've been preparing the penultimate Studio Ghibli movie ranking slideshow over the past couple of days. So that will be happening on Tuesday, and then we'll be leaning into December, which is going to be Disney month. Though I'm low-key tempted to just continue Ghibli month because I'm enjoying it so much. But I do feel like we probably need to switch it up. Just, I don't know, just to switch it up. The only thing I'm not sure about is what I should needle felt within the Disney theme. I feel like that's, again, I don't know if I have narrowed the possibilities enough for myself, because even if we just like condense it to animated Disney, which I think would have been what would have happened anyway. Like when I mean Disney, I think usually that's synonymous with like animated Disney. What sort of characters in terms of needle felting I would do. So that's something I'm still not entirely sure about. So I'm not sure if I need to narrow down the scope and make it like Disney sidekicks or like Disney... I know I wanted to do Disney hats. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's really random, but... Because how many Thursdays are there in December? 2, 3, 4, 5. So theoretically, damn, that's actually quite a few. Yeah, so theoretically, I have to think of about 5 different needle felting things for the purposes of next month. We also are going to be doing our 200 plus follower giveaway. Giveaway is plural. The first 2 days of December. So we need I guess I want to say I need a needle felting activity or need the projects we're working on to be relatively simple in and amongst the potential giveaway chaos. Why did I do that? Okay, it's fine. It's all good. Okay. I do have Hockey Bay, Tyler Sagan. Oh, okay, that's NHL Bay. I was thinking of your local, like, Nottingham players. But yes, there we go. Dallas Stars. Very cool. It was my dad's birthday on the 23rd. And so my parents, well, my mom, and I think my mom and my grandma and my aunt all pitched in and got him a custom Edmonton Oilers jersey. Because that's the team that they support. So it has his last name on the back of the jersey and I guess his number. Because I was trying to, because he got, it was number 4 with his surname on it. And I was like, oh, like, did you get to pick your own number? Is that number significant? And I guess when he used to play hockey, that was his number 4. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So now I know that random little tidbit about my dad. Yeah. Oh, Aurora, thank you so much for the bits. I appreciate that. Wow. Yeah, since last year, no Nottingham Bay. Oh no, did they get traded? Or did they retire? Ooh, I don't know if I did this right. Yes, okay. And then 1, 2, and then 1 there. And then 1 there. Oh no. Yes? No? I see what I did. Okay. Okay, I figured it out. Okay, no problem. Yeah, oh, they're playing Hungary now. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, I need to keep track of what I'm doing. I'm like, I'm confusing myself. I thought that, you know, I thought I had left my dial-up brain yesterday. You know how yesterday I had dial-up brain? I thought I had left that in the past. Clearly. Still not over it. She's still a little bit dense in terms of where her brain is at. But that's alright. We're trying our best. Yeah. Yeah, right? I started off so good, and then in like Yeah, it's been what? A half hour. It took a half hour to go. Just to, you know, half hour to self-implode. It's not bad though. No, I think it's okay. We'll get it back. I'm just counting a little bit more than my brain wants to. I was like, what am I doing? Okay, yeah, I think I know. Maybe. We'll see. The jury's still out. Maybe we need to drink more tea. Maybe the problem is we're not caffeinated enough. Ugh. Tea's a good temperature. It's nice and warm. It's nice and sunny today for a change. Especially considering yesterday, I think it was like really windy and scary sounding outside. But it's been quite the switch, which is quite nice. No idea how long it's gonna last, but I'll take it. What I'm trying to do is all of the stitches in this one color, though they are a little bit dotted around. So that's hence the counting and the potential confusion in my brain. But so far so good. We've not had to frog anything yet, so the stream time is young though. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. When you're just like, what am I supposed to be doing? Also, too, if you're going to be leaving, like, really early in the morning and not being back until, like, midday, then you're kind of like, okay, it's really cold right now, but I know in, like, 3 hours it's going to be a lot warmer. Just, like, a bunch of layers, I guess. But then it's like, if it's cold versus rainy, you reach for different layers, don't you? You know what I mean? It's like if it's going to be just hot, like just cold, and then eventually get warm, you might put on like a fuzzy jumper or something like that. But if you know it's gonna rain, you're not gonna put on a fuzzy jumper to leave the house. You're gonna have like a raincoat and like thinner layers underneath the raincoat or something like that. You know what I mean? So you're like, if Mother Nature could just make up their damn mind, that would be fabulous. It also, again, still boggles my mind that it's like almost the end of November, because I'm like, so like my brain, like especially all my friends online, like all my friends back in Canada, they're posting photos on like Instagram of like their kids playing in the snow and like going sledding and stuff, and I'm like, oh right, there would be like 3 feet of snow back where I'm like in my hometown right now, and it's like balmy and sunny, and like there's no even any like whisper of snow in the air here right now, and I'm like, that, whoa. Yeah, practically overlooking. Yeah. Oh, yeah, practicality over pretty all the time. Anytime I leave the house. But yeah, that's at least, it gets to a point here where because it doesn't get stupidly cold, you can still potentially have some semblance of fashion. I remember, like, especially in, like, high school or university time, I think it was more university time, because when you're in high school, you go through that phase where you're like, it's lame to wear a coat. I need to be cool. Like, it's cool to not wear coats. And I remember going through that phase. So this was obviously in uni when I had grown out of that stupid phase of my life. And you get to a point where it's like when you have to deal with like minus 35, between minus 30 and minus like 40 with the wind chill, you are 100% just dressing for warmth. Doesn't matter if anything matches. Doesn't matter like what the state of the thing is. If it's gonna keep you warm, that's what's going on in your body before you trek out in the blizzard that is the freezing cold weather. I can get away with a little bit more attempt at style. I say attempt because, you know, I think I worked out what I would personally define my style as, but whether or not I'm actively achieving what my goal style is, I'm not entirely sure. But at least I can put a little bit more effort into myself if I chose to here. I'm not dressing for the frozen apocalypse. Where I'm finding people wearing. Yeah. That's the funniest thing about this type of weather right now, too, is the range at which people are dressing is so completely polarizing. Like, you have people still wearing shorts and t-shirts walking up and down the high street, and you have people in, like, woolly hats and, like, down-filled jackets. And they're just walking down the street at the same time. Of course I remember you, Buddy Bear. You're the one who asked me if I would terrorize enemies that shrunk to tiny people size. No, it didn't upset me at all. No, not upsetting. I just thought that you were in denial about your own, your own way of doing things and kept trying to pawn them off on me. Absolutely. Yeah, try my best. But no, absolutely. Of course I remember. Welcome back. I would be a kind bean. Yeah, I try to be a kind person. Kind bean to the little beans. We're just talking about how it's impossible to dress for this sort of weather. And how, as of right now, in November, in England, you will see people wearing shorts and t-shirts walking up and down the street, and also people in full-on down jackets and woolly hats and, like, fuzzy mittens. And everything in between. And I find it really amusing. The other thing, too, is also because I think it's really, like, rainy and muddy. I've seen a lot of kids in, like, not necessarily full-on snowsuits, but, like, full-on splash suits. Because they're gonna get, like, hella messy in all of this, like, muddy rain weather. Okay, hopefully we can do all of these on a this single thread, because that would be ideal. So like I had mentioned, the goal for today is to fill in this, I think it's almost like a crow's nest. When you look on the larger picture of the castle, I think this is like a crow's nest. I think that's what it's called. You know the things on ships that people do like nighttime watch in? I think they're called crow's nests. I'm like, I've not had to think about or thought about parts of like a ship or a pirate ship in a long time. I've not consumed pirate media in a hot minute. I feel like when like the first Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff came out, like pirate culture and like ships and traveling and all that kind of traveling by sea and stuff was much more in the cultural zeitgeist. So I feel like it was like you know, even if you had no interest in ships, you sort of picked up the lingo via the media that was being consumed at the time. So I feel like there was a time where I could confidently say I knew what I was talking about. But as of right now, I'm just speculating that I think that's what it's called. I'm like 80% confident, whereas I feel like back in the heyday of Pirates of the Caribbean, I would have been like 95% sure that that's what it would be called. It's actually really sweet. So one of the Christmas present ideas I had for my mom is when they came to visit last November, my mom wanted to know when all of the UK bank holidays were, so she picked up a UK calendar. But she specifically got a lurcher one because that's the kind of dog that Shadow is. And so she's really enjoyed like this lurcher calendar that she's gotten. And I know that Boots does like make your own calendars. So today I spent most of the morning compiling pictures of Shadow and putting them into this like Boots create a calendar software. So I've ordered that for her. Because originally we have already ordered her things and I was going to do that. And then I was like, ooh, I don't know. Took to our friend Google. A crow's nest is a structure in the upper part of the main mast of a ship, or a structure that is used as a lookout point. Boom! Crushed it. I've still got it. Excellent. Yep, that was 100% what I was trying to define, and it turns out I still know. Excellent. I feel validated now. Thank you, Aurora. But yeah, so it was really sweet. So I have this calendar, and it was really interesting because I put 2 photos on each like month, I guess, and I tried to contrast like a newer photo of Shadow with a baby photo of Shadow, and you could see sort of the difference between the two. And I just like forgot how tiny and small he was. Like there's photos of him sleeping under our sofa. Just like a tiny little bean that you could like hold in the palm of your hand, and now you know he's like 25 kilos of long boy. So I was getting I was like, he's still adorable. I still look at him all the time and I'm like, you're my favorite and I love you so much. But yeah, like baby Shadow is like wild. Yeah. I know, it's absolutely ridiculous how tiny he used to be. Even when he was like 6 months old. And he also looked really scruffy. Because like now he's in desperate need of a haircut. But he doesn't look nearly as like chaotically haggard as he did sort of around the 1 year mark. Like kind of 9 months mark. When it felt like his hair was sort of just growing all skew-whiff all the time. Ooh. The only thing is though, and it was annoying because they had a couple different calendar options. So one of the things that they were like, oh, do you want, I don't know, like a date, like a birthday date calendar or something like that. And I was like, yeah, so I can put input stuff, because it didn't look like these custom calendars actually had all of the bank holidays. Like, you know how when you buy a traditional calendar and it'll say like, I don't know, like they'll write down when Christmas Day is or when New Year's Day is and when all the bank holidays are and all that kind of stuff. So it looks like these custom calendars actually don't have them pre-written in there, which is annoying. And then I tried to add them in and it was being a bit silly. So I'm like, well, if we order it early enough, I can just manually write everything down before we send it to her. So that's what's going to happen. So a little bit of a pain, but I think she'll appreciate the effort. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's interesting that they don't have them sort of I would have just assumed that when you're ordering a calendar, like, the customization part that you want is more about the pictures, but they would still do sort of the traditional calendar thing. But who knows? This was, like, I don't know in terms of, like, the software, if, like, maybe they add more stuff at, like, in post, like, in post-production. I don't know. Absolutely, I will. I'll look at it and I'll be like, I painstakingly indicated. I don't even know if, hopefully I can write small enough. To be fair though, I think a lot of as I looked up the bank holidays for 2023, and obviously they have like specific days, but I might just like forego writing like, oh, it's, you know, New Year's Day, bank holiday, like writing all, I'll just be like bank holiday, bank holiday, bank holiday. Because next year we're actually getting a bank holiday for Prince Charles' coronation as well. In May, it seems. So for some reason, my brain already assumed that he had already had coronation, but I guess it probably would have been more on the news cycle then. So he's not technically officially been sworn in yet, which I think is interesting. I would have assumed that already happened, but I don't know also why they're waiting until May to do it. Maybe there's a specific reason. Right, yeah, King Charles. Yeah. He should already be king. Yeah, but it's weird to me that he's not been coronated yet. It was funny because Liam was watching the rugby a few weeks ago, and I'm sure this is happening a bunch during the World Cup as well, is it was like the first time he had actually heard the God Save the King national anthem as opposed to the Queen one, and he was like, it was like a weird sort of like Mandela effect moment where you're like, wait, what? That's not how it sounds. And you're like, well, technically, yeah, I guess now that's how it sounds. Oh my god. I missed... Okay, this is some bullshit. I missed a half stitch all the way down here, and I'm all the way back up here. It's alright. The back doesn't need to look pretty. It's fine. That's just annoying that that happened. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm probably... I don't know. It must be one of those things, though, like, it's probably, like, in the cultural zeitgeist, it's like when somebody has a childhood nickname for a long time, like, especially if somebody's, like, a little brother, and you call them, like, little so-and-so or whatever, like, little Jimmy, and it's, like, little Jimmy's, like, 6'5" and, like, 40 now, but it's like, no, he's forever little Jimmy, you know what I mean? It's like, I feel like even though Prince Charles will be King Charles, he'll just always be Prince Charles, you know what I mean? He's Prince King Charles. Or King Prince Charles. It's like, that just feels like his full name. King Prince Charles. That's what I think now. Oh no, the tea's getting lukewarm. It's been such a long time, actually, to be fair, yesterday, and I think one sip today, where it's like the ultimate best temperature to drink tea, where it's not so hot, but it's warm enough that when you drink it, you like feel the warmth going into your body. Like, it's just the best. Like, you know when you just have that thing where, like, the universe just aligns for, like, 2 seconds and your life is just like, oh, this is the good shit? For me, it's like when you drink a cup of tea and there's, like, the ultimate temperature for the tea. And it just hits differently. And you just feel like all is right in the world for a split second. This tea is not that temperature anymore. It was, though. It was for a beat. For a hot minute it was. And all was magical. Make sure there's no additional half stitches that I forgot to fully stitch. We don't need that shiz happening again. Absolutely not. No, it looks good. Are there any other stitches in this color? Excuse me. Oh, I hope that this isn't dying. I don't think it is. So there's only there's only two other colors in this crow's nest. So that's leading me to believe that maybe we can get more than just this one done today. That would be really exciting. That would be like the ultimate accomplishment for this session. But again, my plan is to finish the crow's nest. If we get more than that, that would be fabulous. Where did I put my scissors? Ah. I'm really excited when we go see the new baby tonight. One of the things that was in the ridiculously expensive duty package that my mom sent that had stuff in it You guys remember the one I said UPS charged a ridiculous amount for us to get into the country. One of the things in there was a baby quilt that she made for the new baby, so we get to give that to Liam's cousin today, and I'm really excited to see their reaction. Hello, Saul. Good afternoon. Chip, chip, cheerio, good sir. How was the rest of your your Thanksgiving variety hour yesterday? I noticed you did some more tier lists. Were they hotly contested amongst your community, or did they relatively agree with your viewpoints? Sounds really small. Let's try to get these guys down here done. Chaos. We played 20 minutes of the game. Yeah, I noticed that in your, the actual, like, category you were in was a game. But then there was just so much chaos going on that you really didn't have time to play said game, did you? Maybe that's a good thing, though. You know, it sounds like it was a good time. The tier list went down quite. That's good, though. So you don't have there was no tension afterwards. You didn't, like, declare this is the golden rule and everyone is like, you're out of order. This is the wrong tier. That's good. Like, I feel like any of the lists that you've done so far that I've seen, I don't know enough about the topic to have any particular opinion. So you've not endured, my tier list wrath. One day you do one and I'll be like, listen, Saul, you're out of order with these rankings. No, just kidding. I'll probably agree with you anyway. Originally it was on special events. Yeah. I just put the game down and then it just escalated. Yeah, definitely. And then you also, I don't know if you guys know, so Saul had a variety stream yesterday with his friend. And you were it was specifically for Thanksgiving, despite the fact that you, sir, live in the UK and do not in fact celebrate Thanksgiving. But you had donned quite an elaborate chapeau for the occasion. Someone had a full-on turkey hat on. Did you wear it for the majority of stream, for the entirety of stream? You kept accidentally smacking it with your hands. I think you're quite animated when you speak, and I think you kept smacking the turkey face during the stream. I'm like, the poor turkey. And he just looked like a complete turkey. Yep. The 4.5, that's crazy. That's wild. Good for you. I was gonna say, Eddie wasn't dressed up when I saw you guys, so I wasn't sure if he had donned any fancy attire. There you go, top hat and sunglasses. That's like true incognito mode. Was he trying? Yeah, that's like fancy incognito mode. Excellent. This little section here. Can we get 2 more stitches out of this little piece of thread? We will see. I think we can. The wheel could have been a lot more chaotic, to be fair, in terms of what we could have ended up with. Almost ended up wearing a full latex mask with a phantom mask over the top, a pink wig, headphones, and cat ears. Huh. You must have been sweating buckets by the end of that, though. The day before I painted my face like sad clown. Aww. Wow, I didn't realize that there were so many props in the wheel. That's interesting. Chaos ensuing indeed. Yeah. Especially with a latex mask as well. I would assume that that would retain the heat quite a bit. And then you throw in all the other bits on top. Ooh. Flip it, park it, snip it. Ooh. Okay, flip her over. Now, hopefully, I don't know. I'm like, maybe we'll be able to use one strand, but I'm not sure. Okay. Oh, so everyone who wasn't here, anyone who was not here yesterday, this is the official GCU lineup. These are, oh, those are the rejected googly eyes on the table as well. But we have Gigi, No Face, Totoro, and Calcifer as the final GCU attendees, individuals. Yeah, I am doing well. Progress is good. We have officially flipped the page. So here is the first page of the cross stitch. Here is page 2 of, I think what we determined was 16 pages. So many a way to go. But we're determined. I was gonna say, I don't anticipate to get this page done today, but literally, like, this is not filled in. It's literally inside these sort of outlines. That's the rest of the page. So yeah, it is a long-term project. Unfortunately, well, you know, this will be the last on-stream day that we work on it for a while. That's the thing, right? So my anticipation was I want to do Disney themed for the month of December. And so that will give us the opportunity to work on our also long neglected long-term Princess Jasmine cross-stitch project. But I don't know. The other option too that I have been playing around with is, but I don't know, because I did notice from a like back end on Twitch situation, the majority of the way that people, okay, let me rephrase. You can search for different types of streams using particular tags, right? And so at the beginning of the stream, you put all the tags in your content before you go live. And then in the back end of Twitch, you can see which tags most people are using to find you, if that makes any sense. So what I noticed is that the majority of the way that people find this channel is by searching through the cross-stitch tag, which leads me to believe that the majority of the people here enjoy cross-stitch above all the other crafts. Hi, Nungday! How you doing today? So I was experimenting or thinking about having a month where I just cross-stitch just to see what happens, just as like a little social experiment. So that's another option too, because if we do that, then that means that we can do like Ghibli's on Tuesday, Disney on Thursday, something else on Friday. I have a few other whips. We could do cryptids on Friday maybe. I've not touched that in a hot minute. Maybe we need to do that. So that's also another option. I forgot that that was something that I was thinking of doing. But yeah, so I don't know. So it's either full month of full cross stitch all month, or Disney theme with potential Disney needle felting that I don't know what to do. Right? Yeah, right? The long neglected cryptid stitch. You had, it was the 3. I didn't realize it was 3. I thought it was only 2. Had 3 teeth pulled today. It was like a pincushion. And you had to get stitches. Right, did you have to get stitches for the one in your gum? Oh my goodness. Is your mouth like still numb? I always remember the one time not the one time, I've had plenty of like fillings and things in my days. But I remember in elementary school getting a filling put in. And I had to go back to school, like, after I had gone. I think I had gone in the morning, and then I went to school in the afternoon. And I just remember that I was at, like, recess or something, and I just remember drinking out of a juice box, and the whole one side of my face was still numb. So the juice dribbled down the side of my face, and I had to strategically drink my juice box at an angle to prevent it from spilling out of my mouth. Oh my goodness. 1 taken at the top and 2 at the bottom. Oof. And is that because, the one was impacting the other? Ugh. I'm on painkillers now. Yeah, did they let you keep the teeth? Is the tooth fairy gonna come visit you now, Nungday? I wish. I'm like, as an adult, I wish the tooth fairy would still come hang out. He asked if I wanted to keep them. You said no. That's fair. You were like, I abstain. That's fair. Missed opportunity, though. Now the tooth fairy won't come. The tooth fairy's gonna give cash monies to your dentist instead of you. He's already had the tooth fairy. Yeah. Did I fully cross this one? Yeah, I did. So when do they have to, I guess, reschedule for the other 3 teeth? Oh, yeah. Right. I forgot. Dentist's already making hella bank from those teeth. Oof. Oh, dear. Oh, man. Yeah, that's rough though. And it's one of those things too that I don't know, but it seems like dental coverage is like separate. It's like eye and dental coverage is separate than like your traditional sort of NHS healthcare coverage. And so a lot of times it doesn't always work out. Yeah. The next appointment was the 23rd of December, just before Christmas. Yeah, no way in hell. Yeah, you're like, excuse me, I want to eat delicious Christmas foods and not be in pain. So, no. You're like, absolutely not. Yeah, I wouldn't have taken that deal either. I had a couple when I got home, weird feeling. Yeah. Oh, that's good. No dribblage. I'm proud of you. I'm like, that would have ended up all over me. Oh, I didn't even think too, because I'm sure the sensation of having like numbed mouth with when you drink a cold drink versus when you drink a warm drink must be different. You know what I mean? Yeah. Ooh, interesting. Ooh. Okay, you need to get out of there. I'm really liking this chill jazz because it's reminding me of Porco Rosso, which is another Ghibli hit, which I'm already telling you guys now. If you haven't seen Porco Rosso, I highly, highly recommend. I feel like people sleep on that because it's another one that's directed by Hayao Miyazaki, and I feel like in terms of the like cultural zeitgeist of Miyazaki films, that one is like lesser beloved, and I feel like people need to get on that. It was so funny. I was looking in the mirror and realized I smelled my lotion. One side went up and the other went down. That's so funny. Yeah, I would have done the same thing too. That's incredible. Whoop, whoop, whoop. This is not supposed to be here. It's alright, guys. It's just a baby frog. It's not a full-grown frog. Yeah. Ooh. Love me some MASH. I love MASH so much. Mostly because I also really love gravy. Haven't had MASH in a minute. Oh yeah. How's that coming along? What sort of, because you've obviously made a few in the past, what sort of like the time, I don't know if you can, I'm so bad at estimating this kind of stuff too, but do you know roughly how many hours of work it takes to make an entire fur head? I'm thinking it's not what you're having. Ooh. Corned beef hash, that sounds really nice. Usually I don't start getting hungry until like, you know, the 5 p.m. mark of stream, but it might be happening earlier. There's just like a small knot in here that I'm not happy about. I'm sorry, I think I'll just cut it off. Oh. Ho ho! Is that Georgie? I wonder. Oh, never mind. It's not Georgie. It's some, like, charity donation thing. It's so funny because I'm pretty sure she tried to ring the doorbell earlier and then Liam noticed that it was not our delivery and so we just ignored it and it looks like they are persistent and came back. No idea. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes less. Okay, I've almost finished shaping the foam. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, because I guess you're going to be wearing you're going to be wearing one of the dresses you already own with that. I would assume that the head would be quite smaller because you're not attaching it to like a larger fur body. So you wouldn't necessarily need to make it as wide as you would if you don't. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so this one probably won't take as long as maybe some of the other ones you've done in the past. Interesting. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for your hair to come in because by the inspo sketch that you shared, like the inspo drawing you shared, the hair is gonna look gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Yeah. Okey-dokey. Oh, no one can see what I'm doing. My bad. My apologies, friends. So then after this color, the other color is this sort of like grayish blue. That's the other one that will then finish off this crow's nest situation. I think what else is user making. Usually when making heads, I put foam around the entire head to bulk it out, but this one only has foam around the cheeks. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Didn't realize that it would have like a zip. Oh, so it's gonna be quite flush. Have you ever, like, have you worn ones that are quite like flush to your head before? I'd wonder if that, I'm sure that would, well, to be fair, I think sometimes mask wearing in general can make some people feel really claustrophobic, but I've never heard of, I've always assumed that they're quite like bulky, but I didn't realize that you could get, like, make them sort of that tight. That's cool though. How's it healing up? I feel like it's technically done healing. I do think that, like, I think the way that the mushrooms on the tattoo scabbed over and then sort of cracked, and I don't know if, like, the way I was moisturizing it, it sort of, like, led to a little bit of, like, discoloration but on those like on the mushrooms and stuff, but it's mostly, I think it's done. I just noticed that the mushrooms themselves, I think because there was so much color going on with them, that they had the potential to get a little bit like skew if they didn't like heal properly. And so I feel like it was maybe healing error on my part, if maybe like when the scab cracked, and then because I was reading all these things and they kept telling me like if you over moisturize it, it can cause like the colors to sort of like bleed out a little bit and things. So I don't know if because the scab on it when it had scabbed over was so thick, I couldn't like put the moisturizer on it without sort of causing that to happen, I think a little bit. So we'll see. But yeah, I think I'm back to where I'm no longer rocking sweatpants every day, which is the main thing. I've decided I'm just like, fuck it. Everything's sort of done now. Like all the scab is gone, so there's nothing to really pull at it anymore. That was the concern when they were like, oh, make sure that you wear loose clothing while it's healing, because then it could cause like the friction of like a legging or something, a tight pant rubbing against it could cause problems. So I was rocking like tracksuit bottoms for almost a month, and I like being comfortable, but I usually like comfort in the form of leggings. So the leggings are back on. We back on the leggings. So yeah. So for that respect, I think it's fully done. The rest, like the mandrake and the stems of the mushrooms and everything, it all looks really good. I think it's just the deep color of the mushrooms that I might have to ask to get like touched up or something in the summer. I don't want to go until I know I can like wear dresses and leave my thigh out and like actually have it not potentially cause the problems that it caused this time around. You know what I mean? But I'm happy with it. Like I'm happy with the whole thing. I just wonder if I potentially cocked up the healing process a little bit. Now my main suit, I can just put it on because it's not tight around the neck. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, magnetic clothes sounds really good. I would assume that would make it easier for ease of access. That's also a fair point. Yeah, because it's quite a long wig, so you might, yeah, that would get potentially, especially if you're doing it up like from behind, you got to try to get all the hair out of the way, and it's like even when you do that when you have like your own human hair, stuff always gets in the way. So I can only imagine fake hair is even worse to potentially get caught in things it's not supposed to. Damn it. Not supposed to. We're making silly mistakes, friends. There we go. Ooh. Long green hair. And did you notice that was like the zipper close was problematic with all that hair? Or did you manage to make it work? Okay, there we go. I think it's because like a lot of the blue stitches, they're sort of like singular little stitches dotted around. So if I'm not paying attention, there's just a pull on one. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, so then you didn't have to even consider that. That wasn't even a problem that needed troubleshooting. Do you use, like, I guess, different components for different suits? Or is it, like, each suit is sort of individual for that particular character? Because that's always the thing that I find interesting. Or the main thing I find, like, the thought of, like, personally, like, wanting to get into cosplay or any sort of, like, costuming and things like that is having to store all of the pieces and all of the unique pieces. So I would assume it would be, like... Yeah, like it would be a lot to store all of the things. Each is individual and made from scratch. Yeah, so where/how do you store all of your magnificent creations? Because you also do, like, I guess, I wouldn't say traditional, like traditional cosplaying. I wouldn't say, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say, no, one's not, I don't know. I don't know if that's like a stereotype of like one's, would you consider traditional cosplay and one would be like not traditional cosplay. But I think you know what I mean. You do lots of different types of costume activities. So where do you store all of said wonderful creations? Because I know you're currently working on another one from a video game that I keep forgetting. Lots of breathing through the mouth. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, you must have to drink so much water when you're at, like, cons and stuff. to make up for all the mouth breathing. You're like just dehydrated at the end of every con. Most suits have an open mouth anyway. Well, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, they're not fully sort of enclosed. Oh yeah, you gotta keep hydrated. I would assume too that it probably in the fursuits in general, you probably get quite warm. That's probably just a general rule for any sort of costuming, is to constantly drink lots of water.
It's tea time.
Speaking of which, thank you, Aurora. Oh, that's really cool. That's really nice that those cons have them. Morning, cat! Yeah. And that's good because it's a special room because obviously you don't want to ruin sort of like the sort of atmosphere, the ambiance. They mostly get stored in the attic. Definitely. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because again, like, they're pieces of art, you know what I mean, that you put a lot of time and energy into. So to be able to, if you have the space to display them, I think that's a really cool idea. How was your turkey day yesterday, Kat? Did you get to make your dessert? I remember you saying that you had a dessert you needed to make. What was it, and were you able to successfully make said dessert? These really cool wall mounts. Oh, yeah, I would, yeah, definitely. Because it's a fairly, like, it's a large enough community that I think there would be quite a few different innovations in terms of, like, displaying of stuff. That's really cool. Oh, yeah, it was a third amaretto punch bowl cake. You had to make 3? Damn, over the course of, what, a few days? Amaretto punch bowl cake. That sounds incredible. Is that, like, a boozy fruit cake? I'm like, what is this? What is this incredible creation that I have never heard of? It sounds like, yeah, like it sounds like boozy, syrupy, moist, cakey goodness. He said, one for work, one for a work person, and one for Thanksgiving. Chocolate cake, chocolate pudding with amaretto replacing with milk. Oh, that sounds really good. So the chocolate pudding is sort of like, would that be like the center part? Like you would have 2 layers and then you would stick the pudding in the center of that? Or does it just all go on top? Crunchy bits. They also have cooling vests. Yeah. They have freezers in that's so, that honestly, I would just, like, I'm assuming most fur cons are not like that, but whichever the, like, however you found that one, like that, they seem to have thought of everything. That's incredible. They have like special cooling rooms for them. Cake pudding, whipped cream, bits, cake pudding. Ooh, it's like a bougie trifle. Ooh, that sounds incredible. Chocolate bougie trifle. That sounds incredible. Oh, they do. Oh, that's really good. Again, yeah, it's one of those that I never... Also, too, like, the amount of times I've been at maybe, like, an anime, like, you know, like a Comic-Con or something like that, and there's tons of cosplayers and stuff. Like, you would wonder, obviously not to that same degree, but, like, that there would be Maybe there's not. Maybe the fur cons are just like next level in terms of the care that they give to their attendees. Whereas maybe, I don't know, like, because I'm assuming you've cosplayed at like different Comic-Cons and things as well. Is the experience, it sounds like the experience is better at fur cons maybe than at Comic-Cons, you know what I mean? Best friend's coming today. Ooh. Oh no. Oh, that's the worst feeling, Kat, when you're like, I have so much going on, and because I have so much going on, my brain is now short-circuiting and I can't do any of the things. You know that your friend just wants to come to like see you and chill though, eh? So hopefully you don't feel like a lot of pressure to like make things look nice for her, you know what I mean? Because she's coming to spend time with you and not necessarily for all the pomp and circumstance. But if it's like, you know, you made 3 cakes and it's like a bomb went off in your kitchen and you need to sort it out, then you haven't seen her in a year. Oh, that's crazy. To be fair though, that's like before my friend came over from Canada, and I hadn't seen her for 3 years, and I got really like weird about like making sure that the spare room looked really nice and making sure everything, because it's like, even though I know that that's not her biggest concern, there's a need to want to like put your best foot forward for somebody that you care about, you know what I mean? So I totally get that. Yeah, I've definitely been in that, that thing. Even too, actually, when I hadn't seen my parents for a couple of years and they were coming over and I suddenly freaked out, being like, the house needs to be perfect. And then Liam had to be like, your parents are coming to see you. Calm down. And I'm like, right, okay, it's fine. They have massive fans. Like, they can move chairs across the floor. That's awesome. Gonna go start laundry. Yeah, no problem. No problem, Kat. You do what you gotta do. That's awesome. Industrial fans for ultimate coolness. Ultimate coolage. That's good. That's probably for like insurance purposes, so the rooms don't stink to high heaven. They're like, if we have the fans going all the time, then it will make it so that our convention center doesn't reek for like 3 days and we need to air it out from all of the body sweat that we need to sort out. That's so funny. That's good though. Crickety crack. There's an unofficial 6-2-1 rule. Get at least 6 hours of sleep, 2 meals, and 1 shower per day. Yep. That's amazing. I love that. The unofficial spoken rule of the con. That's just like a good rule for life. You know what I mean? Obviously, like, showering every day, maybe that's not necessary just for day-to-day life, but if you're wearing like a bunch of layers of, if you're sweating a bunch over the course of a few days, because I'm assuming the con is your traditional 3-day con, it's a week con. Oh, absolutely then. That is of the utmost priority. I didn't realize, I was going to say, oh, it's your standard like 3-day con. It's a week? Wow. Do you go for the whole week then, or do you just pick like a chunk in the week that you then go? Like how people can get like full passes, like week-long passes, or you can just go for like different, like just do day passes sort of thing. A week con. I've never even heard, like, I didn't even know cons went for a whole week. So yes, that makes the 6-2-1 rule very important. Thursday to Monday, but I get extra nights before and after. Oh, okay. Oh, right. So you've then buffed it into a week based on, like, because you're traveling there. You want to make the most out of it. Gotcha. Oh, wow. Oh, that's cool that they do that combined option, though. Because then, obviously, it's probably easier, I'm sure, as well. Like, are you going to do multiple characters throughout the course of the week, or are you just going to have your single character for the entire con? Because it obviously makes sense in terms of, like, bringing all your stuff, and if everything's at the hotel where the convention's taking place, I'm sure that's a lot easier in terms of, like, not having to do all the lugging around. If you don't get that, though, are there other alternatives that are, like, nearby that'll be all right? Yeah. Because when is it again? It's not until, like, the summer, right? Is it June? There's an overflow hotel. Oh, okay. So it'll be, like, you're either getting into the main hotel or the overflow hotel. Gotcha. End of May, right. Yeah, cool. So hopefully, because that's like a time of year where like it's not full-blown summertime, but it's like spring but getting a bit warmer sort of thing. So hopefully that's like a good, the temperature of the week will be decent, you know? It won't be sweltering or anything to make the fans and the cooling packs work any harder than they need to. Okay, because this is such a light thread, I'm trying really hard to make sure that I don't accidentally leave any half stitches, as I am wont to do. Because that was we accidentally left a half stitch with like the second darkest thread in the entire project, so let's try and be better.
It's tea time.
Thank you. I'm like, speaking of, need pink, there's another tea. Yeah, absolutely, go do that. Have a last sip of my tea, switch to my water. The water in my sippy cup. Yeah, keep yourself, well, not that I'm a doctor, but I'm like, I would keep myself heavily sedated in your current circumstances. But that's because I'm a little wuss. Okay, making sure we have no more half stitches. They're sneaky. Ooh, this will be an interesting game of floss chicken. We'll see if we get to the end. I don't know. I don't wanna make any promises. I was like, I think we will, but we'll probably have like 3. We'll probably complete all of this color, all but like 3, and then need to get a whole new thread for 3 strands. I would not put it past us for that to happen. Damn, this is like groove and chill jazz. I feel like my pinky's getting a workout. It keeps on like collecting the slack thread to pull it through taut. So every time I pull through the back end of the stitch, I like use my pinky to like extend out to keep everything taut. And it's I don't know. Maybe I'm gaining finger muscles in this moment. I'm like, it's a little bit sore. I'm working it out. Like a true, honestly, yeah, we're very posh. It's posh stitching. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm not exercising my pinky enough by keeping it up. And I'm, you know, that's why it's so sore, because it's been neglecting its, like, you know, its fanciful duties. Thank you so much for the contribution to our nostalgic singer-songwriter. What did I call it? Oh, chat performance. I was gonna say extravaganza. Where are we even at with that? I don't know. Let's see. Again, oh, so I've slowly, actually, because we're giving the new baby her quilt today, that's helped rearrange potentially the space so I can reclaim my my piano again to start practicing some more. Maybe I'll make that a goal for myself this weekend, is to practice more. The biggest thing, actually, it probably can go in the loft. I was like, the biggest thing I need to do is I need to find a space for all of this like pillow fluff that my friend gave me. So she was, I think I told you guys how she was gonna stuff a pillow and then decided again, like she was gonna like restuff some pillows and decided she wasn't gonna do that. And then so she's like, can you use it? Like, do you have a purpose for all of this pillow fluff? And I was like, absolutely. But it's stuffed so tightly it looks like a pillow in and of itself. It's just in like a clear plastic bag, but it's massive. And if it's anywhere in like a shadow procurement height, he's gonna be pulling and exploding the fluff all over the place. So I probably need to put it in the loft. That's probably the smartest bet to fully reclaim the piano space. Got second place in a giveaway, which was like, ooh. Ooh. I was like, that's so silly. That's not a very good consolation prize. $600 off like a 2K option. No. Right, so the first prize was a bike and the second prize was like a percentage off to use in the bike store. You're like disappointed. Send me a helmet or something. Yeah, exactly. What a bizarre... Was it a giveaway like for a sports goods company or like for a bike company specifically? But yeah, that's weird that you're giving percentage off on a specific item. You would think they would, like, give you, like, $600 as, like, an in-store token. And then you can buy all the small little bits and pieces. You know what I mean? That's kind of random. That feels like a... Yeah, for a bike company. So you would think that the bike company would have other things that they could... Oh. Almost put this in a place where it didn't belong. Yeah, exactly. Like, that seems really dumb. Was there a third prize? Was the third prize better than this? Maybe the third prize is like 10% off in store and you'd be like, absolutely. Oh, maybe. That's weird. Probably just for, yeah. They're like, you've won our giveaway. Here is something you will not be able to use. Was the first prize an actual bike? That's crazy. Like, that's a wild first prize. Well, it might be more than 2 that we don't achieve. Are there any half stitches lying about? I don't believe so. Okay, good. I'm trying to think the last time, like, I won something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's been, it's not like I'm going around, like, signing up for giveaways and shit all the time, but I don't know. Like a raffle? What's the last time you guys have won something, if you can remember? I feel like when I used to be, like, when I was growing up, like, we used to be part of, like, a Ukrainian dance group in my hometown, and they would always have, like, the penny raffles at, like, the big festivals and things like that. And so then you would buy, like, a sleeve of tickets, then you could stick, you know, your particular ticket number in the different raffles, and you would eventually... I feel like in schools and stuff, they do a lot of those, like, penny raffles and things, and I feel like unless you're, like, part of those spaces where those things happen, like, those fundraising opportunities occur, like, you don't... I don't know. I've not done those things. Yeah. I remember winning a Batman graphic novel from a magazine competition. That's a really good prize, too. That's really cool. Especially if it's, like, if it's a graphic novel, like, it's probably, like, one of those little bit thicker boys. That's really cool. Welcome back, Ningday. I feel like I've won something recently, but I can't remember what it was. Fair. That's fair. Oh yeah. I remember my great grandma's care home had some events going on where there was a game where you had to guess how many sweets were in a box. I guessed 156 and it was spot on. That's really nice. Especially if I won something. Were you able to use it? Because I see those wedding fairs get advertised and stuff. Was there any good tips, tricks, vendors, and things? If you can remember, it probably feels like eons ago, eh? That's been your lucky number ever since. That's an awesome lucky number. 156. I like that. Yeah, when we did, when I did the guess the jelly beans in the jar for the baby shower, we did, like, Price is Right rules where it was closest without going over. Cat, don't let Saul wind you up. I'm like, Saul's being a cheeky one today. Don't blame your memory, Cat. Just remember that, you know, you can blame it on the fact that you dipped into your amaretto pudding a little bit too much. You know what I mean? You're like, some for the cake, some for my mouth. Some for the cake, some for me. That's what I would do. I'd be like, 1 scoop for the cake, 1 scoop for my mouth. Is that not how people bake? Is that not how you do things? You're like, icing for the cake, icing for me. That's fair, yeah. If you don't have a taste for it, then it wouldn't make sense. Okay, I think we'll flip it and park it here, and then we'll use a new strand of thread to fill up these guys. Probably go this way. Thought you were saying I sing. Also true, but no. Yeah, icing. Yeah, I sing for the cake, I sing for my face. No, that wouldn't work. It would make sense to be like, I sing with my mouth. Ready? Did it work? Is it gonna click in? That's weird. You redeemed it, but it... So tell me what you really want. I wanna really say. Yeah, it just took a hot minute. It was booting up. It was buffering. It was in true 90s style. It was buffering. Buffer for the nostalgic hot take. The nostalgic moment in time. Just gonna cross off what we've done so far. Now you're saying. Yes, I could not resist. I could not resist the call of the spice. Once you spice, you can't stop. Can't stop till you spice enough. Dial-up sound alerts. Honestly, that's what was happening. Okay, here's a new thing. If you were a spice, if you were unofficial, what is it? Unofficial 6th member of the Spice Girls, what would be your spice name? Would you be like Cayenne Spice? Or... because it doesn't actually have to be a physical spice, like an actual spice. The only actual spice that exists is ginger spice. All the other ones are just like not acronyms, like adjectives. So what would be your spice name? Don't say Spicy Spice. I feel like that's like a cop-out. That's like an obvious one. No one can be Spicy Spice. You'd be like, I don't know. See, I would say like Crafty Spice, but again, crafty sometimes sounds manipulative, and I feel like that's how it would be taken out of context. Spice Mallow. I like that. Mallow Spice. Spice Mallow. It has to be something spice, so it'd be Mallow Spice. But I also appreciate you switching the convention. Good one. Out of place Spice. Man Spice. The one that doesn't belong Spice. See, yeah, Cheeky Spice. I could picture you being Cheeky Spice. I think you could also be Crafty Spice, Saul. In the traditional sense of crafty being like sneaky. Like mischievous Spice. Cheeky Spice. Yeah, I could see that. So we have Mallow Spice, Cheeky Spice. This will be our Spice Girls cover band. And they're all like the rejects, all the spicy rejects. Sneaky Spice. Just mimes and never sings. Exactly. Exactly. Just lip sync everything when no one knows. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think like any other. I'm like, this, you know what this is? This is like a weird nostalgic version of the like describe yourself in 3 words. Like if you were to fill out a dating profile app or like those icebreaker activities at like work and stuff like that. Posh wasn't even posh. Yeah, she was it like wannabe? You know, wannabe posh? She wore Gucci. That made her posh. She wore designer brands, and that was the impetus for poshness back in the day. But yeah, you're like, oh, describe yourself in 3 words. I'm like, I don't know. You can't, like, and then it's, like, lame. You're like, I don't know, like, nice spice? Funny spice? Like, Goofy Spice? See, now I'm just picturing Goofy as a Spice Girl. Goofy Spice. Garsh. Actually, Cozy Spice. And all of my tour outfits are just like, you know, cozy attire. Oversized sweaters. I'm doing full-on 90s choreographed dance routine in like a giant cable knit sweater. That's what it is. Cozy Spice. You want to be Cozy Spice? Absolutely. Team Cozy Spice. Exactly, Saul. I guess I could be, because if I was gonna join the Spice Girls, obviously I would be like, I don't know, like expat Spice. Could be like Maple Spice. Because I'm Canadian, and that's like the most synonymous. Maple Spice. Trying to think what other. Putin Spice? No, because I think people would then think that that sounds too much like the evil Russian oligarch. Putin Spice. What's another Canadian term that could become synonymous with, to distinctly summarize the fact that I'm Canadian? Because I feel like that's a thing, like here, again, like I said, because I am a Canadian citizen, the fact that that's like distilled into a spice, that actually works. That works too. A spice. But yeah. So any sort of like extended familial heritage that I would identify with being a part of in Canada, I don't, like, that's not how it's perceived here. So it's just like, I get distilled into being Canadian. So that would be the marker, a spice. Someone could be like Grouchy Spice and just has, I guess that would kind of be like Scary Spice, but Grouchy Spice would just like have a stank face on the entire time. Just like the whole time. I'm sure there's probably, I feel like there could probably be like Nerdy Spice or like Geeky Spice, you know? My hair is just a little iffy at best. That's fair. That's the thing, like, some people, do you have that where, like, your family identifies with, like, the cultural heritage of, like, where people had emigrated from, you know what I mean? Or are they just, like, because I think that's one of the things that is potentially, like, that's always the comparison they make between Canada and the United States. They always say, again, it's very, like, simplistic, where they always talk about how America is a melting pot, but Canada's a mosaic. But it's not that simple. But do you find that, like, is it more the fact that you're, like, Alabama and Southern? Is that more the heritage? Or do you celebrate or, like, honor, I don't know, identify with, like, the culture of the immigrant, like, the familial immigration in your family, you know what I mean? Because that was a big thing, not so much on, like, my dad's side, because my dad's side is a bit of, like, an eclectic mix of a lot of things, but because, like, the majority, like, my grandma, born in Canada, but all of the family, like, both of their familial heritage lines are Ukrainian immigrants, so then they brought us up in that sort of celebration of that heritage. That was a stronger connection than any sort of potential heritage on my dad's side. No. You have to zig out of here. Oh, no problem, Saul. Much love, much love. I hope you have an amazing stream, and I will talk to you later, I am sure. Not like I'm mostly British Irish. We don't really celebrate any. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. That's true, too. You're like, it's not really appropriate to celebrate quote-unquote Southern heritage. Absolutely. Yeah. It's like the only part about the Southern heritage that I think people feel okay to keep is, like, the food. You know what I mean? I feel like there's probably a very distinct food like, you know, something that's deemed quote unquote Southern food. They're like, we'll keep that, but we'll leave out all of the less desirable parts of that. Absolutely. I believe that is it for this color. Right? Yeah. What an interesting juxtaposition, eh? They're like, let's celebrate being proud of being from the South and having a bunch of Southern cuisine. And it's like, oh, one is completely in contrast with the other. Okay, is that everything? Oh no, that's fine. All right, all that's left is the bleu. The blue color, aka bleu, aka I don't actually know what it is in other languages. Blau, I think, is German. Blue. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Interesting. I assume most of the people who came over on the Mayflower were pieces of work. That's always an interesting thing, eh? To, like, do research into your family and be like, ooh. That's interesting. Yeah. Do you have people, like, in your family? Oh, a strong hatred of mincemeat pie. That's interesting. What a random little fact. To be fair, I'm not a huge fan of mince pies. I always felt really bad because when Liam's granddad, he would come over, and like for Christmas, we'd always have both the granddads over, and like leading up to Christmas, granddad would like be buying all of these groceries and things for everyone to have like on the day or like leading around Christmas. And he would stock up on mince pies for like the whole family when he was the only one who really liked them. And then they discovered that gluten-free mince pies existed, and I remember them buying me like 4 boxes of mince pies, and I'm like, I'm not really a big fan. And so I feel like what ended up happening is that my mother-in-law ended up freezing these mince pies, and we just had mince pies for like such a long time. I think only now they finally got rid of them. But he was just like, everyone needs to have mince pies, and everyone was like, Granddad, you're the only one who eats them. That or it's like you'll have one. Like, I don't like mince pies enough that I would have one every single day over the Christmas period. I will have a mince pie and I will be fine. But they come in like packs of 6. And I'm like, I don't want all of that. Adultery in a crust. That's so funny. I remember being so flabbergasted when I found out that mincemeat pie didn't actually mean like having the mint in it. Or meat, sorry, mincemeat. Because in my brain, mince, at least here, is like also what you call ground meat. So like ground beef, ground turkey is called like mince. So then the fact that this was like mincemeat pie, I assumed they were savory meat pies. But here it's like mincemeat's like it's almost like a fruit cake concoction. Yeah, exactly. It's like fruit and nuts and like syrup and things. It's almost like the British pie equivalent to a fruit cake. And I'm like, I don't understand. I do think that some traditionally had actual meat in them, but it's from my understanding that that's not actually the case. I thought that was a half stitch for a second. I was gonna rage, but it's not. It's just a very pale stitch. Yeah, it's not bad, but it's not. Like, I feel like I would much prefer to have a jam tart than like a mince pie. Because most of the times you can get the mince pies, they're like quite small. They're like little hand pies. I think a huge history into pies goes a good way. Yeah. Honestly, that's fine. I appreciate that. Yeah, definitely. Well, that's like how so many things used to get like pickled, right? Because if you didn't have, like before refrigeration, you'd have like root cellars and stuff, right? And so the best thing to do is to can all of your stuff. And a lot of the cans would either be like pickled or like heavily sugared or salted or stuff like that, right? Nothing to do with packing. Yeah. You would seal the hole you can remove meat from. Interesting. Yeah. But yeah, definitely, because like pre-refrigeration, there had to be different ways to preserve stuff. It was really interesting to me when I went back to Canada in August, and I was talking to my grandpa, like, and it was really interesting because I hadn't heard a lot of stories like from his childhood, but he was talking a lot more about it the last time I visited him. And I didn't realize that, I think he said it wasn't until like the 8th grade, so that it wasn't until he was like what, 12, 13, that he actually had electricity in his town. And I was just like, you know, it's one of those things where like, you know that your grandparents are like older, but then you really just think about like how much time has passed and like how such a short amount of time we've been living with such innovation. You know what I mean? So, like, just the fact that within his lifetime, he went from, like, growing up with, like, no electricity to there being, like, fiber optic cables that bring you all the information you could want. You know what I mean? It's like, pfft. Yeah. You want to root Celebrity more for tornado safety. That makes sense. But yeah, just so interesting that it's like one of those that you don't really realize it. It's like when you think about how, like, people talk about things that are like, oh, that was, like, so long ago. But then you're like, no, that was, like, in the sort of distant future. You know what I mean? Oh, I wonder if that's Georgie. Guys, this might be Georgie. He might have finally delivered the packages. The delivery has been completed. Excellent. That means I don't have to faff about with going to Dartford and sorting things out. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All of the parcels have arrived. Special delivery. Thank you, Georgie. It's so weird because I noticed on DPD they actually, like, they're like, oh, this is who your driver is going to be. They do that with most food delivery orders now as well. They'd be like, so-and-so is going to be responsible for delivering your food. But the DPD one, you can actually learn more about your driver. So I was like, oh, sure, I'll click this button. It was like, Georgie, his favorite things include spending time with his family or whatever. Like a whole little profile about this person. And they have a photo of him and like his country of origin and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's kind of cute. Yeah, exactly. I thought that was kind of cute. I wonder if part of it is like a bit of a tactic because I think people can get quite, like, people can sort of dehumanize their delivery people, you know what I mean? Because a lot of times you don't see them, they're dropping packages off when you're like at work and things like that. And so if things get messed up and stuff like that, I think like you can sort of like take the humanity away from the person, you know what I mean? So I wonder if it's a bit of a tactic to like decrease the amount of potential like verbal abuse and complaints that happen when you like have a little profile of like, look at this happy-go-lucky dude who just happens to also be delivering your parcel. I think it might be a bit of a tactic, but it works. I'm like, I wouldn't, you know, I wasn't gonna get mad at Georgie. I was a little bit mad at him, let's be honest. I was like, sir, you need to figure yourself out. But he did eventually. I'm also not one of those kind of people who would like lodge a formal complaint, you know what I mean? I could be personally a bit annoyed, but I wouldn't go and, like, tell his supervisor, you know what I mean? But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. They're like, would you like to know more about your driver? I'm like, okay, sure. Tell me all about him. You, like, how someone is trying to hurt you, you just start... Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I've never heard that before. I guess, though, that sometimes happens in movies, like, when people are getting, like, mugged or, like, murdered or whatever, and they'll be, like, so casually, but, like, in films, they, like, have people saying, well, I have a family, I have, like, a wife and kid, or all that kind of stuff, and you start spouting off. I didn't even think about that as, like, that being a tactic. But, yeah, that makes a lot of sense that you would try to do that. Absolutely. Okay, we got about 45 minutes left. I think we're gonna finish this section faux show. And then, if we can fill in this little guy too, that would be next level. That would be next level excitement. Oh no! He's coming by when your friend's coming to visit? That's a bit annoying. Can you be like, no. Are they family friends? Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. Are your parents still together, or are they separated? Yeah, she's your friend from school, so I don't understand why he's just announcing himself over like that. Yeah. Sounds like your mom's probably better off without him, not to be crass. Just from anecdotally what you've said to me, it sounds like she's better off without him. Greener pastures and all that, yeah. Such a strange concept of like, this might be better over here, and you're like, I'm sure that his impending arrival doesn't help your current stress levels. Yeah, oh, absolutely not. Of course not. The other thing too, and I remember like I was listening to an advice podcast and people were talking about like how this couple have been together for a long time, but they were young and it was like the first person that this guy had ever been with. And so they were talking about how he sort of like didn't want to be with like to only be with this one person forever. Like he felt like he wanted to, you know, experiment or go out. And it was so funny that the hosts were sort of like, so you've attained this girlfriend that you're, you know, intimate with and all that kind of stuff. And it's like, it's this weird thing that happens with people. Again, it's not universal, but this was just a story they were saying. And it's like, it's this weird thing that happens where, you know, you become intimate with somebody and you've gotten this person and you somehow get it in your brain like, well, it could just be easy to get anybody then. So I want to go out and sort of sow my wild oats and do things and stuff. And it's like, no, that's not how it works. So they're like, your partner thinks he's more desirable and able to attain people than he probably actually is. It's like the one time this, like, you know, however, this young person, like, is, you know, getting intimate with someone for the first time. They're like, this is really fun. I could probably do this with other people. And it's like, you might think that way. But that doesn't necessarily mean you are desirable enough that people actually want to do that thing with you outside of your girlfriend. So I thought that was really funny. And they were so frank about it. Yeah. I can have anyone I want. You're like, no, you can't. I'm like, maybe there's some people that can, but I think sometimes people get so deluded at, like, what they're missing out on that it's like, oh, I don't know if you can actually attain what you think you're missing out on. Also, like, not being funny, but I feel like I've had this conversation with Liam before where I'm just kind of like, well, I hope we're together forever because the thought of, like, going out in the world and trying to date again sounds exhausting. I'm like, that just seems like too much effort. And it's like, you know, just for, like, obviously, you know, like, we're good and everything is great and stuff. But I was like, you know, I really hope that, you know, this continues to work out because the alternative just sounds like too much work. Right? Yeah, you're like, I'll just, you know, it'll just be me and my dog. That's all I need. I don't need to faff about with things. I'm like, I have my routines. I know what I'm doing with my life. I don't need to complicate it with, like... Right? You're like, You're like, it just seems like too much work. Yeah. Exactly. You're like, we're going to live our friendship life. I read, that was another one, different podcast I was listening to, and how these two girls have a pact that if either of their partners die, the other, like, couple will sort of adopt them as their child. They'll, like, move in with them and they'll keep them, you know. I was like, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Like, if anything happens to either of... Because that's the thing, too, right? It's like, you have your... If that's what your goal or what you have, it's like you have your person that you're in, like, a long-term committed relationship to, but you also have other relationships that you're very close to, whether it be best friends or certain family members or certain things like that, right? So, like, if the romantic relationship breaks down or, like, God forbid something tragic happens, it's like, you know, you have your other platonic relationships that are just as strong that can... not like replace that, but also be like, this is the lifestyle now, you know? That's family. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, you're like, I will adopt you. You are now part of this family. Fair enough. I'm like, go make yourself presentable. Yeah. I know what you mean. You have your, like, lounging around the house sorting out your life grubby clothes, and then you have, like, I am actually, like, ready to see people clothes. I know there's a difference. I know what you mean. Gonna finish this row of stitches, and then we're gonna have a little granola bar break. It is snack time, friends. Every once in a while, it, like, feels like potentially it's knotting in the back. It's like I have this thing in my brain where I'm like, oh, this thread feels shorter than I think it's supposed to be, and I'm like, oh, does that mean I've caused a knot? And then you check and you're like, no, I'm just imagining things. Yeah, we're definitely not gonna win this game of floss chicken, that's for sure. But that's alright. I wasn't attempting. I had no preconceived notions that that's what was gonna happen. Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna have a snack after Stitches proceeds to do a bunch more stitches. Okay, it's fine. I'll finish this row. And then we will go and get some snackage. Alrighty then. There we go. I can't present for That's amazing. Oh, that's really cool. What brand are they? Wow. Are they in-ear or over-ear ones? That sounds awesome. I think that's the same brand that Liam's are. I know he's had these like wire or Bluetooth headphones that he's been using for such a long time. Over-ear, yeah. Yeah, every once in a while I think, because I'm still using like cabled headphones, and for the most part, like, because I feel like I didn't trust myself to have like earbuds. What are they called? Like AirPods. That's the one, because I have an iPhone. To use AirPods because I just assumed I would lose them all the time. But it's getting to the point now where like sometimes the like cable gets like tangled in and amongst like what I'm doing and things like that. But I don't necessarily want like super bulky ones for like dog walks and things, because like I still want to be able to hear like what Shadow's doing, or like hear if there's other dogs around and all that kind of stuff. So I don't necessarily want like a noise cancellation thing, but I feel like I need something that's a little bit not as tangly. But I think that's something I just need to get over. Got a giant AirPod case so I wouldn't lose it. Yeah, I feel like if they're in the case I won't lose them. I feel like, I don't know, like sometimes too, I guess I'd have to check to see if my like they would fall out of my ears, because sometimes that happens with some of my like my current headphones, but I don't know if that's because it's like the cable is pulling it down and that's causing them to pop out, or if it's actually that like the in-ear are not the right size for my ear. You know what I mean? So I don't know. The other thing too though, and again it's purely an aesthetic selfish thing, is there's so many cute AirPod cases you can get now. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. But yeah, because I see really cute like little AirPod case holders and I'm like, they're really cute, but it's purely an aesthetic thing and I know it's not necessary. But you can get like little like boba looking ones. I saw a Totoro one. Yeah, I see a Gudetama one. I'm like, that sounds so freaking cute. But it's like, you know, I can't justify getting what, 100-pound, over 100-pound like AirPod case situation just so I could spend more money to get a cute case for them. But I love that. The fact the Gudetama one, that sounds incredible. Gudetama would probably make a cute little needle felted character. Should put that on the to felt list in my brain. Okie dokie, on to the next strand. We're almost done. See, all of that is filled in with this color. He has little butt cheeks. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and the fact that he's just like a lazy little egg living his best life. Was Gudetama, I don't know if anyone knows this, but was Gudetama part of like the Hello Kitty cinematic universe? Like, was it from that same subset of characters, or is he just his own thing? Because I feel like he sort of came out around the same time and got really popular, and I always assumed that they were like, yeah, within the same cinematic universe. But I always preferred Gudetama to Hello Kitty. Yeah. I remember that was a thing. Speaking of nostalgia, I feel like there was a moment in the early 2000s where like Hello Kitty was huge. I think it was around the same time like any like kind of super girly pink aesthetic stuff, a lot of it was Hello Kitty, and then there was a lot of like Playboy bunny iconography as well. It was one or the two, and both of those were like really popular among like the super sort of girly kind of Paris Hilton early 2000s thing. I just feel like Hello Kitty was everywhere. I think I was never into Hello Kitty because I was never interested in cats. Like, I've always been a dog person, so Hello Kitty never appealed to me. Also, I was always vehemently opposed to the color pink my whole life. I'm still not like a big fan of it. Still over my childhood because right, you had a Hello Kitty store at the mall? That's wild. That's wild. A whole ass Hello Kitty store. That's wild. That's amazing. I didn't even know that there would be like whole ass storefronts. Makes sense though. But yeah, to think of like a whole Hello Kitty store outside of like Japan or something. Wild. Your sister loved it a lot, yeah. Oh. Bad Bats Maru. There was a Hello Kitty bat? See, I could be into that. Let me Google that real quick. Oh, the penguin! Yeah. Yeah, Batsmaru. Interesting. Yeah, I remember him as well. Yeah, like a grumpy... grumpy... That's so funny. Wasn't there another... It was like a dog or something. Here, now I'm just curious. Hello Kitty characters. Okay. Yeah. So there was, there was My Melody. Oh, Cinnamon Roll. Pom Pom Purin. Kuromi, that's another one that I've seen as well. Kuropi, that's another one I've seen a lot of. Gudetama. Tuxedo Sam, I've never seen him before. Interesting. Yeah, so yeah, I recognize a lot of those little characters, but I never attributed them to like the Hello Kitty universe. It's a similar drawing style, like a cinema animation style. So I just didn't put two and two together. I just assumed it was all just like Japanese kawaii, but not necessarily all related. Now I know. Yeah. Oh, interesting. That a few of them turned into themed characters in Animal Crossing. That makes sense. That's a crossover event that I would understand. Absolutely. That makes a lot of sense to me that Hello Kitty characters would show up in the Animal Crossing universe. Absolutely. Yeah, they brought furniture with them. That's really cute. Yeah, that's what I found. I heavily neglected my island. I think like once I sort of got my village people in and like upgraded my house a little bit and whatever, I think unless you're really into the terraforming aspect of it and you make like a cute aesthetic world or whatever, yeah, like sort of once you sort of do the basic stuff, I've not forayed into it since. Yeah. Oh yeah, so you even did further than I did. Yeah, once you sort of designed it. The only other option, I guess, is to make a new island and like start over, but then it's like you're just doing the same thing over again. And then the additional homes for the island animals I can buy. Yeah. Oh yeah, can you decorate the homes or upgrade the homes of your islanders? Or do they just have the homes that they come with? I know you can move them like around the island. You can place them in certain areas. Oh, okay. Interesting. Slightly. We have about 15 minutes. And I assume we will get this done in 15 minutes, but sometimes I forget how long it takes to stitch the number of stitches. It doesn't look like a lot. I think that's the thing. Like, it doesn't look like very much. But we'll see. We shall see. Liam has an appointment he's got to jet off to as well, so I'm sure Shadow is going to be not happy about that. So that might also condense our stream timeline. have to remember there's a whole section up here that actually doesn't have any stitches. So I have to make sure I don't like go ham in a fury and accidentally fill in things I'm not supposed to fill in. Because I could see that happening in a moment of panic. I think we need we need another bite of the granola bar. Yeah, there's like, you can see there's like the tiniest little guy there as well. But it's amazing because it's like once these are filled in, page 2 is done, which is incredible. I don't think we'll get to all of them today, but the path to satisfaction will have a much higher turnover rate than the month-long endeavor of this central piece here. I think there are a couple other ones. I was looking at the pattern the other day, sort of either side here, that are quite full coverage as well. So we needed a little win. We needed a little win to make it feel like we are proceeding in a timely manner. I think as I get further along on the project, I've been like debating on how I'm gonna finish the project, because I don't think I'm gonna do like a traditional sort of wall hanging situation. I want to put it on the back of a shirt, but I'll have to see how big it is to sort of frame like where it might be. Like maybe it won't be on the back, maybe it'll be on like the front section. I'm not entirely sure. I think because I was anticipating it to be really massive based on the specs on the pattern, but I was reading, I think it was on Reddit actually, where the author of the pattern, Stitchy was talking about how I think it spit out like a random sort of height and width, because she, I guess, calculates her stitches in a different way. And so apparently the final the final size on the pattern is actually not what the actual thing is. It's actually a lot smaller. So we'll see. So I know we'll have quite a bit of like excess that we end up cutting off, I think, which is fine. I'd rather have too much fabric than not enough fabric. I put on mine, got a huge amount of yeah. Right? Oh yeah, that the only downside to that obviously is it becomes really difficult to like navigate so much excess fabric like this. I was looking the other day when I moved the hoop, and I think like there's a stain on the bottom half of this now that I need to sort out. Just because it gets dirty. I need to pick up some grime guards or something just to like protect all the excess fabric. Or like, I know one of the things that I've seen people do is there's like those magnets that people use, and they use the magnets to then like bundle up the excess fabric. So just so it's not all like floofy flopping about. Yeah. Oh, you use the magnets. Yeah, definitely. I put that on my Christmas wish list this year because I've seen a lot of good things about using those. Oh. Interesting. I'm finding like so many little, it's like they're inconsequential, but there's definitely, I'm fulfilling that Irish saying that, you know, you should always leave a mistake in your project so that your soul can escape. There's plenty of spaces for this project for my soul to escape now. It was a thing that like you put a piece of your soul in every like embroidery project you do, and so it's always ideal to leave a mistake in there because then it allows a space for your soul to escape from. It's got plenty of choices but you can't tell. And I'm gonna keep it that way. Oh dear. I found a half stitch that I forgot to make full. Damn it. That's such a pain. Okay, we'll have to fix that in a second. What a pain in the butt. Didn't I say? I was like, I need to make sure that I don't forget any half stitches in this fabric color, and lo and behold. And it's only one. That's always the worst. Sometimes I've forgotten to do a single stitch, and that's always a weird justification for the amount of floss you're using. It's especially annoying when you're not even doing a full stitch and you need to use a different, you need to use more floss. Lame. Oh well. Can't be helped. track of what we've done, because clearly, I love it. I'm like, there's only 3 colors in this section of the cross stitch pattern. Proceeds to make many errors on which of the 3 are used in any particular spot. But that's okay. It happens. Just trying to power through this because we need to wrap things up. But it's good. We accomplished, or we are going to accomplish, exactly what we set out to do today, which was fill in this crow's nest. And we have done exactly that. So next week, yay, right? Exactly. Aurora! Thank you for the bits. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you. Yeah, so we've done the thing. So next week will be cheer cheer, whoop whoop whoop. It will be our official Studio Ghibli ranking list. And then we're transitioning into December, where we were going to be doing our 200 follower appreciation giveaways. We have 7 items to give away, as well as like adjoining stuff. Hey! Thank you so much, Kat. Thank you so much for the biddies. You are too kind, friends. You are just both too kind. Yeah, and so that should be good. We have 7 items to give away with like additional little bits and pieces. Yeah, the cupcakes are cute. Yeah, I like that there's different bit character options. And then, yeah, I'm on the fence of whether or not, so I forgot. So I'm like, okay, maybe we do Disney month, which means needle felting and cross stitch, or we just do cross stitching all month long. And then we can do 3 different patterns. So we can continue to work on this bad boy here. We will work on our Princess Jasmine pattern and probably put, work on the long neglected cryptid pattern. But we shall see. And then we will, yeah. So definitely on Tuesday, we will be back here Ghibli ranking. And then what happens aside from what the activity is in and amongst the giveaways for the 1st and 2nd of December are still TBD. Alrighty then. I'll finish these final stitches, and then I know I need to finish that stupid little half stitch, but we're just gonna ignore it. Okay, quickly, let's do that stupid little half stitch, and then we will raid out. If anyone has any raid suggestions, feel free to drop them in the chat. If not, we will go visit any one of our friends. Okay, let's fix this stupid little half stitch with this. I believe that's the color. Okay. So this shenanigan, we need to basically thread it through a bunch of the stitches at the back. Let's figure out where it is. It's like over here somewhere. So if we thread all of this in here, just to ensure that this thread isn't going to go anywhere, because we're not making any crosses, so it's tentatively like not secured by much. Oh, balls. I didn't mean to put that in half. There we go. Okay. So if that's there, we can have it move in a smidge. Okay. So that's there. And then we will have it pop out over here. There we go. Stupid little half stitch. You have been conquered. Oh, did I just pull it out? Damn it! And I just pulled it out. See, this is why we need to hold on to this shit. Okay. Okay, let's try it again. Round 2. Okay, performing the most delicate of surgeries in the cross-stitching world. Okay, now still holding on to the initial input thread. Let's now move it this way. And then we will, just for good measure, maybe have it come back around this way. Okay. There we go. Hopefully that secured it enough. There we go. Shadow. Yeah, see, Liam's just left. So this is a perfect time to end it. Let us pop in the raid message here. Let's go see our friends. Yeah, he is. He's singing the song of his people. You can hear it loud and clear, eh? Shadow. Let's just keep it simple. Let's go see our good friend Saul again, because he's a good guy and we like hanging out with him. There we go. Hi, Bubba. How you doing? Hey? Okay, let us start the raid, and I will see you guys all next week. Have a good weekend from me and my whiny baby boy Shadow. I know. I know. You live a tough life. Okay. You too. Bye.